Bulabinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tawengavengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music
In the news tonight, Fiji Times executives and writer acquitted of sedition charges. FBC clarifies to PAC about losses made. And rice import bill reduced by $11 million.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
The 4 persons charged in the Fiji Times sedition case have been acquitted. Delivering his judgment to a jam-packed courtroom this afternoon, Judge Justice Tushara Rajasinghe acquitted writer Josiah Wangambatha, Naila Lakai editor Anare Ravula, Fiji Times editor-in-chief Fred Wesley and Fiji Times publisher Hank Arts of all charges. Pranita Prakash reports.
Emotions were high outside the Suva High Court after the Fiji Times executives and writer Josiah Wangambatha were acquitted of charges that have been hanging over their heads for almost 2 years.
Relief, I guess. It's been a long journey. We've been toughed it out, and it needed toughing out. When you're in the media, as you know, you've got standards to uphold, and I'm just pleased that the law has seen those standards to be appropriate.
It's been a very, very tough and challenging time for them, as you can imagine, and it's just such a huge relief for all of us that it's over now.
We are relieved and very happy that we finally have the right result.
I thank my lawyer for fighting for this case legally, and I also thank the Almighty God for helping everyone here.
The case arose after it was alleged in April 2016 that writer Wangambatha submitted a seditious article to the Naila Lakai newspaper, which could have caused feelings of ill will and hostility between Fijians, in particular Muslims and non-Muslims. High Court Judge Justice Tushara Rajasinghe said the prosecution failed to prove the article was seditious and noted that Wangambatha was suggesting a national reconciliation in the article. Publisher Hank Arts was acquitted of sedition, while Andre Ravula and Fred Wesley were acquitted of aiding and abetting Arts in publishing a seditious article. The High Court judge's acquittal of all 4 charged was in concurrence with the opinion of the 3 High Court assessors returned on Friday. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Fiji Broadcasting Corporation Chief Executive Riaz Said Qayyum today clarified to the Public Accounts Committee that the losses made by the company between 2010 and 2015 were budgeted for and was sustainable. Said Qayyum provided the clarifications while making submissions to PAC members on the 2015 audit report on state-owned entities and statutory authorities. Kritika Kumar reports.
FBC Chief Executive Riaz Said Qayyum says company losses between 2010 and 2015 were budgeted for, like any other company that starts from scratch.
The reason why, because we had taken out almost a $22 million loan to rejuvenate FBC. When I joined FBC in December 2007, one of the first things we did was to do an audit of FBC. FBC was going to close down in a year and a half after that if we did not do anything. We were more off-air than on-air. Our service was terrible. We were running radio transmission throughout the islands on car stereos.
Said Qayyum says there were 2 options for the FBC: to either close down the national broadcaster or restart and rejuvenate the FBC with a major capital injection.
And that was an option that we put to the government at that time. And obviously the government did not want its national broadcaster to close down. And they said, yes, we want you to do something with it. We came up with a plan on how to rejuvenate it. But the condition was the government was going to give us, the only support that government was going to give us was they were going to guarantee a loan.
FBC took out the loan from the Fiji Development Bank at an interest rate of 12.5%, and Said Qayyum says the company has never defaulted in its payment or reduced the repayment amount even after interest rates were reduced.
So, you know, we are a success story. And you would know as a business person yourself that when you start a business from scratch, when you've got nothing going for yourself and you take out a huge loan, you will budget for losses for a number of years. You know that. Everyone knows that. And whoever and whatever elements that are spreading rumors about FBC not doing well because of what we've stated as losses between 2010 2015 is they are either deliberately misleading people or they don't understand the basics of business fundamentals.
Clarifications were also provided to PAC members that the public service money paid by government for the public broadcast services provided by FBC should always have been recorded as income. The PSB contract between the government and FBC sees the FBC being paid money to provide a whole range of public broadcasting services, which until 2015 was treated as capital contribution and has only been treated as income since 2016.
If we do not record it under as a revenue, that means there's a departure of accounting standards. That means there's a violation. So what it means is that we are not preparing our reports in compliance with international financial reporting standards. So now, taking into consideration the current circular and the accounting standards, all this PSB service, public service broadcast fee, is recorded as a revenue under profit and loss statement.
FBC's annual report from 2010 to 2015 were tabled in last Parliament sitting. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Fiji has managed to reduce its rice import bill by $11 million. 3 years ago, Fiji recorded its rice import bill at $40 million. Eleanor Tarangaivu has the details.
Following years of bad yields and poor production, the rice industry is starting to get back on its feet. Government's revitalization of the rice industry is paying dividends.
According to our figures, we have reduced rice importation by $11 million. That is a good sign.
The Northern Division is the center of rice production in the country, with about 1,900 hectares of rice farm, producing about 5,800 tons of paddy annually. Minister for Agriculture Inya Seriratu believes we have the potential to produce more.
We are producing rice, but let's work towards better results. Efficiency, that should be the target.
Government's investment into the rice industry has seen the renaming of Rewa Rice Limited to Fiji Rice Limited, the provision of different machineries to help rice farmers, the upgrading of the rice mill, and the increase of the price of paddy.
Where Rewa Rice at that time used to operate 3 days a week, now at peak times we are opening and operating up till 10 o'clock night. It is all through the contributions of the government, the vision that the board has, and the total transparency that we at the management level try to promote.
Rice farmers in Reketi have committed that in the next year, the rice import bill will have reduced another $11 million. Eleanor Turangaibu, FBC News.
Acting Prime Minister and Attorney General Ayaz Said Kayum says a 2-week amnesty period has been rolled out targeting those Fijians who weren't eligible and received assistance under the Homes Care Initiative. Said Kayum says in some instances, more than one person from the same household applied and received e-cards under the care program, which they weren't supposed to. Maggie Boyle with the story.
A second chance is being offered up to those Fijians who may have illegally taken advantage of the care program.
We've discovered that there are some people who come from the same household and they've applied for the home care program. Obviously that is incorrect to do that. You're not supposed to do that. You have one card per household.
The minister says fraudulent behaviour will not be tolerated.
Whether it's in fact home care or whether it's even farm care, they please return those cards.
Under the CARE program, assistance is offered in a number of areas, including agriculture, transportation and household needs. A family under the Homes Care program could receive a maximum of $7,000 on an e-card if their house was completely destroyed.
The Consumer Council of Fiji has also weighed in on the issue.
By claiming as a victim of cyclone or flooding, etc., then the real victims and cyclones, they will not be able to get, the money they need.
The amnesty period ends this Sunday, and those found in breach of the care program's eligibility can expect legal action and fines of up to $20,000. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Still to come, Lambasa cane farmers ready for harvesting season. Stay with us.
Bula, Keron mai singatoka, Keron do talita kana varorong na radio Fiji 1 and do moi viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kuminasong sekolah untuk talita kana radio Fiji 1 kena do moi viti.
Kuya do silil tale, nagurara may naomani, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela, nanggunto rongo. Barong na radio Fiji 1 nando moi viti.
Na radio Fiji 1 nando moi viti na bonga ni BNN.
"105 government vehicle drivers have been fined during Operation Tata Rovi 2 in the last 3 weeks. During this period, 5 police drivers have also been fined for speeding and careless driving. Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sitiveni Gilio has issued a directive instructing officers to monitor speeding government vehicles following complaints that many government drivers were abusing road rules. The Commissioner says unless an officer has a genuine reason or is attending to an emergency, they will be booked. He says there are no special speed limits for government vehicles. The most common offence registered of the 110 government drivers is speeding, followed by careless driving and failure to produce driver's licence. Trade Minister Fayaz Koya today expressed his disappointment to the World Trade Organization members who have been unable to arrive at concrete development outcomes for the Doha Development Agenda since 2011. The minister said the continued failure to conclude the Doha round risks undermining the WTO's credibility and its ability to perform effectively. Ritika Pratap has more.
Fiji remains fully committed to the Doha Development Agenda and is working hard to ensure that the voices of the Pacific are heard, both in WTO negotiations and in its regular work.
This is of particular concern to Fiji and the Pacific parties as we rely on the protection offered by the rules of the multilateral trading system, even though some of the rules are burdensome and should be improved to make the multilateral trading system fair and inclusive for all members.
The minister also raised concerns that major economies, spurred by the sentiments emanating from the U.S. leadership, are threatening the entire basis of the multilateral system for free and fair global trade.
The global economy and especially small island developing states of the Pacific cannot afford the emergence of protectionism.
Koya says Fiji believes the WTO can provide a level playing field in decision-making for trade rules. But he says this can only be achieved if the organization is willing to understand and address the concerns of the small and vulnerable members. The trade minister was speaking at the regional workshop of the 11th Ministerial Conference and Post-Ministerial Conference. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
An increase in the number of unwanted issues reported to the National Substance Abuse Advisory Council has prompted the Council to provide training for teachers and school leaders, including prefects and form captains. Chief Executive Mano Senikarawa says their job is to try and identify those students who are having difficulty in school or are at risk. Savara Tambor reports.
These teachers underwent the training last week. ANZAC Chief Executive Senikarawa says it's not an easy job. However, their priority is to help these children to become better in the future.
Some of our children, they face a lot of problems. They come from situations that are not of their making, but because of the situations that they are in, it affects them and it is shown in what and how they behave in school.
Fijians have shared their views on the guidance training.
It's the best thing which can be sorted out in the school with the parents, without parents, with the friends and teachers, which cannot be sorted out in the family.
I believe everything starts at home. Parents plays a vital role in molding his or her children to become better. If parents do not show the right way for their children, they will behave differently in schools.
I think it's a good initiative.
Senikarawa is urging members of the public to assist in guiding our younger generation to become better in life. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
Lambasa cane farmers are preparing for the new cane harvesting season. The Lambasa sugar mill is expected to be the first to open for crushing this season. Eleanor Tarangai View reports.
With 4 full weeks left before crushing starts, cane farmers in Lambasa are busy preparing for harvest time.
Our preparation is we are ready to harvest the cane. We're still waiting for cane payment to be
be announced by this week so that our farmers we can be prepared for our tractors and lorries to repair and make paths for our harvesting so that we can cart cane to the mill.
The farmers have been meeting to discuss about the harvesting and crushing season. One of the issues discussed as well is the impact the recent floods will have on their production.
Production might go a bit down because of this heavy flood in the area.
The production level gonna a little bit come down just because of weather, climate change, and the weather was very bad.
The Fiji Sugar Corporation says they are happy with the progress of preparation so far and hope the 2018 crushing season gets off with a good start.
The preparations are well in hand. Farmers are organising their harvesting gangs. Everyone's getting ready for the harvest to commence. So we've still got a bit of work to do in the next month, but we're satisfied with the progress on the harvesting and transport side, and I think the mill will be ready on time as well.
Crushing at the Lambasa sugar mill starts on the 19th of June. Eleanor Turangebiu, FBC News.
In sports later with Jamie, Super Prop Misulamin Dolokoto named Fiji Warriors captain, but up next is Anna with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening. Coming up in business tonight. Increasing trend of Chinese visitor arrivals in the country. And in growing Fiji, new quarry in Boer to boost roadworks. Stay with us.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारियल रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टकता हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
There's an increasing trend of Chinese visitor arrivals in the country, and this is having a positive impact on the tourism industry. During a workshop with local media in Suva today, the Fiji Hotel and Tourism Association said tourism is the biggest foreign exchange earner and it contributes more than 30% to our GDP. Kelly Vadala reports.
The Fiji Hotel and Tourism Association says almost 50,000 Chinese visitor arrivals have been recorded so far, and this has boosted the industry.
They stay in all the high-end properties. They spend a lot of money. Many countries are now chasing the Chinese visitor. They don't stay for long either. You know, they're in the country for 5 days to a week and they're gone. But the impact of the Chinese visitor can't be, underestimated. They're the biggest outbound market in the world.
FHTA Chief Executive Fantasia Lockington said the workshop is to help media understand the day-to-day situation of the tourism industry.
The things that we wanted the media to understand was some of the new trends and making sure that the association, through its members, that we're tracking what the demands are, where we maybe need to develop the areas further, what areas are maybe not as important.
The FHTA media workshop was attended by various media representatives, including government officials. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
We now join Rocco from HFC Bank with the latest from the money market.
Vinaka, a quick look at the global markets. This week, the US dollar's fate rests on the US Federal Reserve with the minutes of the central bank's last monetary policy meeting due to be released tomorrow. The US dollar has been bolstered by solid American economic data supporting the Federal Reserve's monetary policy of tightening its stance this year. Investors will focus on the Fed's inflation outlook, which will determine the interest rate. Closer to home, the New Zealand dollar slipped yesterday after slower than expected retail sales cast a shadow economic growth. Tomorrow, Reserve Bank of Australia's Governor Philip Lowe will speak in the morning, followed by New Zealand's April trade balance releases later in the day. So we'll wait to see how this affects our Fiji dollar tomorrow. That's all from me for now. Binaka.
Taking a look at the currency exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollar. Once again, our dollar rose against all of our other currencies we cover, with the exception of our two major trading partners, Australia and New Zealand, where the dollar showed minor slippage. In the commodities market, the fluctuating price of oil is back on the rise, up nearly $1 to close at $72.50 a barrel. Gold rose to just under $1,292 per ounce, and silver was up at a few cents at $16.48 an ounce. In growing Fiji tonight, a new Fulton Hogan Highways quarry based at Nukumbalavu in Bua aims to boost roadworks in Vanua and benefit over 3,000 people in the area. The new quarry began its full operations early this year following the arrival of supporting road building materials. Quarry supervisor Isimeli Tuilama says this will provide them with some good source of materials and binders, especially for unsealed roads. Tuilama says after extensive testing at the site, the material sourced from the quarry conforms to the Fiji Roads Authority standards. He says the hard rock sourced from the quarry provides better quality of materials, as there is a reduction of environmental impact on river ecosystems and water quality for people living downstream. Some of the FRA's major access routes that will benefit from materials sourced from the new quarry include the main Nambawalu Road, the Nasolo Junction, and other roads such as Solevu and Kumbulao. And that's business for tonight. Jamie joins you now with sports.
Thanks, Anna, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, injured players return as Fiji Sevens wrap up preparations for London tournament, and Nandi football eyes a semi-final berth. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकु रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1, इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारियल रेफ्रिजरेटर से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टकता हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम, इट्स हॉट।
Fiji Airways men's sevens forward Sebuloni Modenadangi, Tsasa Verimalua and playmaker Vatimo Ravovo have made it to the final team for the London and Paris tournaments. Dropped from the squad are Isake Katunimbau, Tireo Tomani and Kiponi Paul. As Vashnil Prasad reports, only 10 players were part of the side's final run in Nandi this afternoon before leaving for London tomorrow.
Back in his robust form, injured Sebuloni Modenadangi testing his abilities for the last time in Nandi. Coach Gareth Beba ticking all boxes for him and including him in the travelling team to London.
You just saw Sevu out there now, who seems to be back where we need him. Rib cartilage is a real painful injury. There's not much you can do with it apart from just leave it, settle and rest, and he's done that. But he's progressed all the conditioning work that he needed to do. It's good to see him back.
Tsasa Verimalua also makes his return into the side, missing today's runway winger Ironi Sau and Samisoni Viriviri, who are in Vanuatu sorting out their visas for France.
Ironi and Sami Viriviri are, who are also should be training with us. They are in Vanuatu picking up their visas, which is always the case when we get the Schengen visas going over to France. And Jerry's just got some final preparations with his family and some family issues he's got to sort out before he gets on the flight.
Apanisa Thakambalavu gets his call back into the national team. Other players in the side include Waisena Dungu, Vatemo Ravovo, Mesulame Kunavula, Joshua Vakurunambili, Paula Dranisinikula, and Amenoni Nasilasila.
The last thing you want to do is probably go into a tournament where you're tired, so really want to make sure they're as fresh as possible.
With 14 players leaving for London tomorrow, Beba is still keeping secret on if the overseas players will join the team in London or in Paris Sevens next month. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Super Rugby front rower Mesulame Ndolokoto has been named captain of the Swire Shipping Fiji Warriors to the Nations Cup in Uruguay next week. Ndolokoto replaces Moses Voka, who was named in the Flying Fijian side for the June Test Series. Luciana Tangethakembao reports.
Being appointed as captain came as a surprise to 23-year-old Mesulame Ndolokoto. He was not expecting this tough call.
I was a bit shocked, considering there's a lot of senior players in the team, the likes of Charlie Mitak, those who have played, you can say, When I was still in school, they were already playing.
With the Warriors being made up of local players, Captain Dolokoto says he thinks they're ready for the Nations Cup.
Good test for the boys, but I think the boys will be up for it. We'll be playing together for a while now. A lot that went to the Brisbane Tens, they played the Reds.
Coach Senirusi Servakula says the side is ready to take on big teams after playing several international matches.
Local players, they're very lucky. There's a lot of competition they are participating, like in the beginning, in the start of the year, that the Tens and the game against the Reds.
This Swa-shipping Fiji Warriors team have marched into camp as coach Senirusi Servakula is expected to name his final squad tomorrow. Meanwhile, the final 28-member squad will leave the country next Tuesday for the Nations Cup. Luciana Tangida Kimbao, FBC Sports.
Nandi football has been one of the more consistent sides in the Vodafone Fiji fact in recent time, reaching 4 finals in the last 5 years, claiming titles in 2013, 14 and 16. With another installment to begin this weekend, the Green Machine is out to set the record straight after its narrow miss last year. Vasil Prasad reports.
Their expressions say it all, as Nandi football side is on track for Friday's start of the Fiji Fact. Last year, they finished as runners-up, going down to Rewa by 1-0.
I'd like to see that we go above that level and actually defend, actually win this cup.
The jet setters have been consistent in recent years when it comes to the Fiji Fact.
In fact, our five of our boys have been in the Fiji national team camp this season, and they're with us, and they have got a lot of experience with them coming from Fiji team.
Despite being beaten by Tavua in the Vodafone Premier League, Nandi is confident of a winning start in the tournament.
On the day, the bounce of the soccer ball will decide. You know, the football is such that if we have chances and we put it in, and we can capitalize on that. We can be champion side any day.
The Green Machine has played 7 finals, winning 4. This weekend they are pulled with Lautoka, Suva and Tavua. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, Lambasa is tying up loose ends ahead of its Vodafone Fiji Fact campaign. With some key players unable to represent the team this weekend, the side isn't deterred but plans to just take it one game at a time. Elno Turangevu with this report.
Lambasa soccer coach Anand Sami is making sure all bases are covered as he prepares the Mbambasing Alliance for the Vodafone Fiji Fact this weekend.
At present, the sessions is quite good. He's getting on there, and you start working on a bit of conditioning on the physical side and also a bit of technical side too.
With 1 key striker and 2 goalkeepers not being able to make it to camp due to work commitments, Sami is working on improving the skills of the current crop of players.
Mostly doing a lot of work on the transition, where the ball changes from attack to defense, and when you lose the ball, how can you win the ball, how quick you can react and all those things. So I'm putting those things in my drilling sessions.
Lambasa is pulled with Mban, Reketi and Rewa. Defender Tonio Tuivuna says it is not an easy pull as all teams are preparing really well for the tournament, adding they will not take any team lightly.
It's nothing new to us because we were in the same pool during the IDC last year, and the boys have been preparing for the tournament. We're looking forward for the good result this weekend.
The Lambasa soccer side is calling on fans to turn up in numbers at Ratodakambau Park in Nosori this weekend to support them. The Vodafone Fiji Fact kicks off this Friday. Eleanor Turangevu, FBC Sports.
Liverpool will go into Sunday's Champions League final against Real Madrid with high hopes that Mohamed Salah will be the man to win it for the Reds. Only shooting to superstar status this season, not much was known about the Liverpool striker and his humble beginnings. That's it from Sports Tonight. Angie joins you later on with weather, and in new media we take a look at the Pup, the world's fastest pocket scanner. That's after the break.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and the Moi Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko la ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina ndo Moi Viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tale, nagurara may naomanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasabale, nagundurong. barong na radio Fiji 1.
In new media tonight, we take a look at the world's fastest pocket scanner called PupScan. And it's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. It's Super Duper Tuesday and what an awesome one. The skies were mainly blue and it was very much dry. It turned out to be a nicer day. Now looking at the conditions in the west, it was a scorchy day, hot winds blew by. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, a pretty sunny day with clear spells, expect light rain tonight. And up north, quite the same, so much sunlight really made it worthwhile. At sea, east to northeast winds 10 to 15 knots with moderate seas. For the tides, high tide at 1:14 a.m. with low tide at 7:20 a.m. Sunrise at 6:27. For tomorrow, we will be dealing with showers, but nothing major, just occasional light showers. Tomorrow's temps, Lambasa will be the coolest at 31 degrees. And looking further on to Thursday, we can expect mixed conditions. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji and Pulse tonight, we ask, should traders found taking advantage of the Homes Care Initiative be fined heavily?
In my opinion, I think the government should send officials to areas that was affected. If not, harsh penalties should be implemented to traders to discount the prices of goods.
Yes, I think they should be fined heavily. It's just because why they are changing their price in the last minute. These people need assistance, right? And if the government is helping out, why others take advantage?
Yes, they should not be doing that because it's wrong.
Yes, they should be fined because they're taking advantage of the system.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, Fiji Times executives and writer acquitted of sedition charges. FBC clarifies to PAC about losses made. And rice import bill reduced by $11 million. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment this week, we're asking, do you think sex education should not be treated as a taboo subject? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, this breathtaking sunset shot was taken thousands of feet in the air by pilot second officer Tuvitu Silatolu. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Wrong on the radio Fiji 1 and the Moiviti.
Saya narinig siya. Kung minasong mo ko lang untuk tali tak na radio Fiji 1 kena domili.
Kaya kuya sila tali. Nagurara may naomani nandunga. Gitu tali tadi yang gitu kena sebalik menguntur rongo. Barong na radio Fiji 1 nandung Moiviti.
Na radio Fiji 1 nandung Moiviti na bonga ni BNN.